SupaNova.
What's happening, guys? SupaNova here, back with another video, and this is my review for Devil May Cry 5. Although this is Devil May Cry 5, this is actually the 6th game in the series. There were 4 games and then a Devil May Cry reboot that redesigned the look of main character Dante. The first Devil May Cry released in 2001. Take note of Dante's look: red duster, white hair. Devil May Cry 2 launched in 2003. Red duster, check. White hair, check. Devil May Cry 3 launched in 2005. Once again, check, check. Devil May Cry 4 launched in 2008 and introduced the character of Nero. Once again, Dante's look checks out. Also, notice that Nero has some kind of black duster-like hoodie with a red inside. Then, for some reason, we were given a reboot that nobody had asked for instead of a Devil May Cry 5 in 2013. Okay, white hair. Nope. And red duster. Nope. For some reason, this new Dante looks more like Nero, because he also, for some unexplained reason, now has a black duster-like hoodie with a red inside. The Devil May Cry reboot wasn't a terrible game, but for me, the new Dante just didn't feel like Dante. The game also tried way too hard to feel edgy, which was something the previous iterations never did. Then there was this scene, which may have been intended just to be an Easter egg, but to me, as a Devil May Cry fan since the original who A, never wanted a reboot, and B, did not like the look of the new Dante, it kind of felt like a slap in the face.
Not in a million years.
How right you are, imposter Dante. Not in a million years, but instead, in 6, we finally get the true sequel to Devil May Cry 4 we were all asking for, with our Dante. White hair, red duster and all, albeit a little more on the crimson side now. Devil May Cry 5 follows return characters Dante, Nero, and new character V, as they attempt to defeat a new powerful demon threat named Urizen. For me, Devil May Cry 5 is the best of the entire series for multiple reasons. There is the graphical one, which is a given, as this one is using the gift that keeps on giving for Capcom, the RE engine, just like in Resident Evil 2 Remake. The game also seems to be a step up in the narrative department. The game does need you to have played the previous Devil May Cry games to understand 100% what's going on, especially being introduced to characters from previous games. But if you're not DMC virgins, it's been a long time since I played Devil May Cry 4, and I don't really remember what happened in that game, which means half the time I have no idea what the hell's going on, and I'm still having a blast. The combat system has also been completely overhauled, and it's the best it's ever been. The 3 playable characters also play very, very differently from each other. The first character you take control of is Nero. His main weapons are his sword, the Red Queen, and revolver, Blue Rose. The Red Queen has a gas injection system and can be charged by revving the motorcycle throttle built into the handle. The Blue Rose is a magnum revolver with an over-under barrel style, allowing for 2 rounds to be fired with each trigger pull. In Devil May Cry 4, Nero's right arm is called a Devil Bringer. It's the manifestation of his demonic powers, granting him superhuman abilities. At the beginning of this game, we learn that Nero had his arm ripped off. What he has in its place is a bionic arm made by Nico called a Devil Breaker. It can take several cartridges, each with their own abilities. The first cartridge you get is called Overture, which can fire electric bursts at enemies. Between ability upgrades for Red Queen, Blue Rose, your Devil Breaker, as well as cartridges, Nero's playstyle can be moderately customized, making for some great fun. The second character you play as is V. This for me is easily the weakest of the three combat-wise and was the least fun. V doesn't actually wield any weapons, he instead conjures demon familiars to do his fighting. For short-range attacks, he conjures what appears to be a panther by the name of Shadow, and for long-range attacks, he conjures what appears to be a large raven by the name of Griffin, except instead of a regular bird beak, it has more of like the beaks you would see on a graboid from Tremors. Once an enemy's health is low enough, you can then strike the final blow yourself with a cane. The amount of upgrades and customization pales in comparison to the other characters, but hey, it's different, which is what the developers were aiming for. So, mission complete? I don't know, I just personally never had a ton of fun playing as V. Dante, by far for me, is hands down, and by quite a lot, the most customizable and most fun character to play as. Dante's main weapons are his Sword Rebellion, which is the physical manifestation of his power, and his dual semi-automatic pistols, Ebony and Ivory, which can rapidly fire bullets instilled with demonic power. Dante can carry up to 4 melee weapons at a time, and 4 long-range weapons, which can be changed out on the fly. I'm not going to spoil what weapons you unlock, but I will talk about one, which is one of my favorite melee weapons, and that's Balrog. Balrog is a pair of gauntlets, greaves, and shoulder pads that has 2 modes, blow mode and kick mode. Blow mode resembles boxing, with bobbing and weaving as well as very fast hand strikes. Kick mode is exactly what it sounds like and allows for powerful kicking and flipping around in a style that very much resembles capoeira, which for those of you who don't know is a kind of Brazilian dance fighting. I love using the Balrog, and especially in kick mode. I feel like such a badass flying around and literally kicking the shit out of everything like I'm Bruce Lee. There's another weapon that you'll get later on that takes that Bruce Lee feeling to a whole nother level and is absolutely bitchin' to use. But, like I said, I'm not going to spoil those weapons for you. As if ability upgrades, as well as carrying 4 melee weapons and 4 long-range weapons, all with their own upgrades, wasn't enough, Dante also has the ability to switch up his fighting style on the fly using the D-pad. Up for Trickster, which focuses on movement and quick evasions. Down for Royal Guard, which focuses on blocking and countering enemy attacks. Left for Gunslinger, which just as it sounds focuses on gunplay and long-range attacks. And right for Swordmaster, which also is exactly what it sounds like and focuses on swordplay and close-range attacks. Styles, melee weapons, and long-range weapons can all be switched out on the fly with just a button press, allowing for long combos. Also, each style has its own upgrades too, making Dante the most customizable and most fun character to play as by a mile. This actually ends up being one of my main complaints about this game, which there are very few of, and that's that the characters don't feel very balanced. To me, Dante felt so much better and so much more badass with all the melee weapons and long-range weapons you unlock, as well as the styles, that when it gave me the choice of who to play as for certain missions, I found myself always going to Dante, especially since I was eager to drop more red orbs into his upgrades. Then I would come up to missions that made it mandatory to use another character other than Dante, such as V. And when V already felt weak and less fun to me before I got to play as Dante, after I got to play as Dante, especially a well-upgraded one, made going back to playing as V rough. That issue aside, overall, like I said, this is the best combat system that Devil May Cry has ever had. Voice acting is top-notch, with Johnny Young Bosch of Power Rangers fame reprising his role as Nero. There are the occasional cheesy line here and there, but that's Devil May Cry. The Devil May Cry games have always been known to have badass soundtracks, and this one is no different, with up-tempo rockin' tunes kicking in during combat. I also really dig that Devil Trigger song. Cutscenes all look fantastic with the usual over-the-top Devil May Cry flair, and then there's this one. That was too good to not show you guys. Funny story is, I guess that's not supposed to be Michael Jackson. According to Matt Walker from Capcom, that particular style hat is linked to a Japanese pop star who just copies all of Michael Jackson's moves. So that Dante dance will reference that pop star for the Japanese, while us Westerners will just see Michael Jackson. All silliness aside though, I can't recommend this game enough. It is a polished, well-executed game you can tell had a lot of care put into it. There's so much in this game in the way of upgrades, unlockables, special abilities, etc., and with a completion time of around 15 hours if you're not looking for all the hidden paths and secret missions, The game is well worth the $60 you would drop on it. Well, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, feel free to share, like, and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next SupaNova.